Yo, what's going on, y'all? Today we're going to talk about what corporate clients really want when you are providing them a media package. That's right. What do corporate clients really want when you're providing them a media package?
Here to show up and show out. Here to show up and show out. What? Here to show up and show out. Here to show up and show out. Yeah.
I'll be honest, this is one of those things and one of those topics for me that I think is evolving. I think that we have talked through ideas of what you can provide as a retainer for retainer clients. We can talk through what you provide if you're a wedding photographer, wedding videographer. As you know, for me, I focus in the corporate space. So when I think about this and when I'm thinking about what clients are wanting, I think of three things. The very first thing is they really want your results. They want results, not just pretty photos, not just a pretty video. What does that mean? So corporate clients, they care less about the artistic flair and more about the strategic value, meaning how much shelf life is this content going to be able to provide them? How will they be able to reuse these photos? How will they be able to reuse the video itself? That's what they care about. And oftentimes we go in as photographers that we have this Erica Badu mindset of I am sensitive about my craft. Of course, she says something else. But the truth of the matter is, our corporate clients, they're wanting to understand what's their return on their investment. They know that they're making an investment when they book you because for a corporate client, they're coming in with the mindset of I am here to resell what you do three times over. Meaning, is it member based? Is it narrative based? Meaning, is it going to help share and tell the story? Um, is it based on understanding how they will able to, of course, maybe increase their membership or people just coming into their next conference? So when you look at this, you have to think that clients using this format saw, of course, maybe 30% more engagement in post-event recap emails when you are, of course, providing them um, with content, photos, and video that is strategic, but at the same time is adding value. That's important. You got to think through knowing that, hey, they don't need you on the floor. They need you capturing the speaker when they're making a good point. So that means that you may be taking 30 photos of one person. They're needing you capturing the fun engagement, the laughter when people are commencing or connecting within the breakouts, or even also when there is a moment in which it's lunchtime. They're wanting to see the hugs. They're wanting to see the enjoyment of business partners seeing each other again for the first time in over a year. That's important to them. Why? Because a lot of times when you think of corporate events, they're also wanting to drive home that why a person should be at this event is for community, it's for network, it's for opportunity. And so all of those types of pictures help sell that one thing. The other thing that you have to think about when you're thinking of what clients are wanting is they're also wanting you to be fast in an organized delivery method. Meaning that's what makes them look at you like a pro. That's what makes them look at you and know that this person's been here before. If you can't deliver fast for corporate, that's not going to be the name of the game for you. Because corporate clients, they're wanting to have a turnaround time within a week, 2 weeks. Anything longer than that, it's growing stale. Now, granted, some deliverables may take a little bit longer, but you have to understand how are you going to be able to return photos in a timely manner. Some of our clients, they're wanting their photos the same day, meaning, hey, we just shot day one. Can we have about 20 or 30 quick photos? And how do we edit them? And how can we make sure that they're bold and fit our profile? Quick, understanding what that looks like. So I think when you think about turning video or turning photos around, you have to also understand what is your process. Now, we can definitely talk about this in another video, but organizing your system on what you do at home base versus what you're doing on the road matters because that's what's going to help drive, of course, a quicker turnaround. So for example, for me, I got rid of spinning disk hard drives and I went solely into a solid slate drive mindset. What I also do is before every corporate event, I always bring at least a 2 terabyte or a 4 terabyte drive that has infinite space, meaning that it has not been used, and it allows me to know that I can always back up and drop and dump at the any time, and it will not run out of space. What that also does is ensures that I have the ability to be able to edit much faster, even probably faster than what my hard drive allows, even on my laptop. Why? Because it is not using any of the unnecessary RAM. The other part of this is also knowing that being able to give our clients what they're needing right then and there and show it to them. So, for example, if there's a keynote taking place with maybe a celebrity, or there's a keynote taking place with someone that's of very importance, and they want to be able to put this in one of their news ads or one of their articles or even maybe use a quick clip for Instagram or LinkedIn, you need to be able to cut that and do it quickly. Meaning, do you have a laptop fast enough to do it? Do you have all the necessary materials to be able to plug and play and run with that? Do you have all the necessary apps on your phone, or do you have all the necessary apps on your iPad to be able to drop it? Is your camera up to date? All of that matters. And I say that because while I don't want to harp on gear, it does make sense to make sure that you have what you need to get the job done efficiently. Now, the number three thing that I think is super important, that when you're thinking about what the clients really want when you're developing or when you're providing a media package, is also flexibility and scalability. It wins in the long term. It allows you to know, it allows the client to know, one, that they can trust you, but then two, it also lets the client know that you're able to work with them. So, for example, corporate clients want to know that you're thinking ahead, that you're thinking around the corner. So a one-off event is nice, but being able to handle multi-day events, looking at the last minute add-ons, or maybe even some future edits, that's important. And having those conversations and using terminology that fits for what they talk about. So, for example, looking at a video and saying, does this have enough shelf life? Having a conversation with them of saying, hey, have you all thought about doing headshots, because it helps drive member engagement. It helps drive drive your members with the mindset of knowing that every time they come to this conference, they're going to get a free headshot. And what that also does is it turns around and helps drive sponsorship as well. Why? Because sponsors love to see headshot stations. Why? Because it's an easy way to gather leads. Think through these things. Help sell for the client, and don't make the client have to do all the work. So when you think about that, also understanding flexibility, meaning that, hey, you travel nationwide. How do you do that? Maybe that is reducing some of your travel fees. Maybe that is ensuring that you have shooters in multiple cities. Maybe that is making sure that you are confident in how to shoot. So, for example, oftentimes I see for videographers, we get out there and we're wanting to do an interview, and the client says, hey, can we do this outside? And we completely freeze up. Why? Because there's this mindset of, oh man, will I be able to have electricity for my light? Oh man, will I be able to block the shade or block the sun from moving? And oh, what am I going to do about the audio? Well, that's making sure that you're prepared and having the right equipment for that. So, for example, whenever I travel and I'm shooting interviews, or I'm shooting some form of event that's going to require audio, I'm bringing at least 2 or 3 different types of audio. Meaning whether that's a boom mic, whether that's a lav, whether that is maybe even having an audio connector to where I can plug into the soundboard. All of those things work. Or sometimes it might just be having a handheld mic because they want someone like a man on the street type of interview. All of those things help. And also knowing that you have the necessary tools. Now, does that mean you bring everything all the time? No, but you have to think around the corner. If you're going to be in the corporate space, you got to be able to think quick on your feet, and you got to think about, how am I able to make sure that I'm meeting my clients' needs? And so in doing that, just quick recap. Clients, they want results, not just your pretty photos and not just the pretty video. Clients are wanting a fast, organized delivery process that makes you look more like a pro. And then, of course, clients are also wanting the flexibility. Can you handle the change? And are you able to scale with them as they're growing? Or they may be big right now and they're looking for someone new to help fill in and take them to the next level. And they're wanting to know, can you handle that? And so when you think about all of these things and you're thinking about, I'm wanting to get into corporate, you have to also make sure that you're checking the box in these areas and saying, can I do it? If you need help, let me know. I'm here to help. I'm here to talk through it. I have traveled nationwide. I've done a lot of conferences. I've done a lot of events, a lot of different type of events. I will probably talk to you guys about one of the events that we shot this time last year, and come to find out, Run DMC was going to be there. And how we shot this in a very dark environment was epic. But I promise you, the client loved it, turned around, hired us back multiple times. And so this is all because we were able to check those three boxes: being scalable, meaning we were able to be flexible in the environment, but then at the same time, we were able to deliver a fast, quick turnaround, and also understanding that we were organized so that they had no problem in trusting us to be able to give them the final product. Yo, hey, it's Dez. We're here to just keep talking. I like to call these car talks because this is where I get to think about what's going to help you all in this community, but at the same time, also thinking about my strategies, how I continue to build, how I continue to grow. And these systems are not just things that I have tried and went through the process on, but they're also systems that I'm saying, let's try it. Let's figure it out. So, hey, that being said, love y'all. Peace. Let's keep eating. Let's keep grinding. Have a good one.
Here to show up and show out. Here to show up and show out. Here to show up and show out. Here to show up and show out.